So 5.5, applying the remainder and factors here. Okay, here's the deal. Remember when you were in elementary school and you did problems like this, 238 divided by 12. What is that called?
Long division.
We're going to do polynomial long division.
Oh my goodness. Maybe that's
Okay.
taking forever. Maybe we shouldn't do that.
So, what the remainder and factor theorem is basically telling us is when you take a polynomial and you divide it by another polynomial, you can have a remainder, possibly.
I forget how to do that.
Okay? We're going to take a look at that. I have 11 slides because I have lots of examples.
Oh. Whose history book?
Okay. Using polynomial long division. If I want 3x to the fourth minus 5x cubed plus 4x minus 6, and I want to divide it by x squared minus 3x plus 5, I'm going to set it up into long division.
Oh my god.
3x to the fourth minus 5x cubed. Now, what do you notice about this equation? It does not have a what? A squared. So you have to put a what?
Zero.
A 0. Plus 0 plus 4x minus 6, and it's being divided by x squared minus 3x plus 5. Now, here's what you need to do. How many things are here? 1, 2, 3. So that tells me that I cannot take this into this until I go to the third section. Okay, so like if I am trying to do this, I can't say x squared minus 3x plus 5 goes into 3x to the fourth. It has to go into 3x to the fourth minus 5x cubed plus 0.
So each one, like, it has to go into each one separately.
Yeah, well, sort of. We're going to talk about that.
Okay.
So if I have 3 out here, I have to go 3 deep. Okay? Because here's what you're going to ask yourself. How can I get x squared to 3x to the fourth so that they cancel? What would I multiply x squared by to get 3x to the fourth?
3x to the second.
3x squared.
Yeah.
Yes. So I put it over top of where the squared would be.
Oh.
Okay? So then I say 3x squared times x squared gives me 3x to the fourth.
Oh my god.
3x squared times negative 3x gives me
9x to the second.
negative 9x
Squared.
cubed. And then 3x squared times 5 gives me
15x to the third.
15x squared.
What?
Alex, what you doing?
There's no x with 5.
Where did we get the third then?
Because
Oh,
x
'cause there's
squared
already an
times
x.
x. Yeah.
Mama.
Now, in long division, remember, we subtract these things. 3x to the fourth minus 3x to the fourth.
0.
Good. Negative 5x cubed minus negative 9x
So
cubed.
plus, so 4x.
4x cubed, right? Okay. 0 minus 15x squared.
15.
Negative
Negative
15x squared. Now what do you do in long division?
Bring one down.
Bring down the 4x. Now you ask yourself the same question. How can I get x squared to 4x cubed?
You gotta times it by something.
By what? What do you times x squared? By 4x.
Yeah, just 4x.
So I'm going to say plus 4x.
I really don't like this.
4x times x squared is 4x cubed. 4x times negative 3x is
Negative 12x.
squared. And 4x times 5 is
20x.
beautiful. Now, once again, I subtract. 4x cubed minus 4x cubed is negative 15x squared minus negative 12x squared. Negative 3x squared.
Why did I just say 13?
4x minus 20x. Negative 16x. Okay, negative 16x. Now what do I do?
Bring the
Bring the negative 6 down. Now you ask yourself, how do you get x squared to negative 3x squared? Negative 3. Negative 3 times x squared is negative 3x squared. Negative 3 times negative 3x is 9, just 9x. Negative 3 times 5 is?
Negative 15.
Now we are subtracting all of these.
Welcome to class.
Negative 16 minus 9x, negative 25x. And negative 6 minus a negative 15, positive 9. Now, this is your remainder. What do you do with remainders when you have long division?
You put it on the top.
You put it on the top over the fraction of what you divided by. So my answer is 3x squared plus 4x minus 3 plus negative 25x plus 9 over x squared minus 3x plus 5.
Holy mammies.
How come you couldn't
I
just
need you
do
to
minus
elaborate.
5?
Because this is your whole remainder. We're going to do 3 more in a row here, don't worry.
Can I just put R and then put 26 and then 25x plus 9? Like, wouldn't that be good?
Do they have a calculator for this? Because if they
You
don't.
are correct. That's how you could do it in one term. But they want you to rewrite it this way for later. Okay. Let's look at this one.
You stupid.
Okay?
Is it like 100?
Here's another one. I have x cubed. I have plus 5x squared. I have minus 7x. And I have plus 2. And I'm dividing it by x minus 2. Okay, what do I have to do first?
You have to multiply those, and you have to turn the x.
How many terms am I going in? 2. There's only 2 right here. 1, 2. Okay. Yeah, so I gotta ask myself, how can I get x to x cubed?
2x.
It's just x squared. X squared. So x squared times x is x cubed. What's x squared times negative 2? Negative 2x squared. Now, I have to subtract. X cubed minus x cubed is 0. 5x squared minus negative 2x squared is 7x squared. Now I bring it on down. Okay, how do I get x to 7x squared? 7x. 7x times x is 7x squared. 7x times negative 2 is what? Negative 14x. Subtract. What's 7x squared minus 7x squared? What's negative 7x minus negative 14x?
7x.
Positive 7x. Now bring it on down.
Bring it on down.
And bring it on back. How do you get, sorry, there's a chance to do long division. How do you get x to 7x?
Times 7.
Times 7. Now multiply 7 times x.
7x.
7 times negative 2.
Negative 14.
And I am subtracting. This gives me 0. This gives me 2 minus negative 14. That is my remainder. So I have to say plus 16 over,
X minus 2.
and there is my,
Can we do like a few more no's?
We have one.
I have 11 slides of examples. Just be patient. Okay, one more example of this. Okay, 2x to the 4th plus x cubed, then what?
Plus x
Nope,
divided by.
I go 4, 3,
2. 0.
plus 0, you need your placeholder, plus x minus 1, and I'm dividing it by x squared plus 2x minus 1. So how deep am I going in? How do I get x squared to 2x to the 4th? How do you get x squared to 2x to the 4th? 2x squared.
Yeah.
So then I get 2x to the 4th. 2x squared times 2x is
4x squared.
4x cubed. And 2x squared times negative 1.
Negative 2x squared.
Good. Subtract. These cancel.
Nothing.
X cubed minus 4x cubed.
3x cubed.
Negative 3x cubed. 0 minus negative 2x squared.
2x.
Positive 2x squared. Bring it on down. How do I get x squared to negative 3x cubed?
Negative 3x.
Negative 3x. Negative 3x times x squared is negative 3x cubed. Negative 3x times 2x is
Negative 6x.
beautiful, and negative 3x times negative 1,
3x.
3x. Now subtract
Nothing.
nothing. 2x minus negative 6x squared,
8x squared.
8x squared. X minus 3x,
2x.
negative
Negative
2x, and bring it on down.
2x.
How do I get x squared to 8x squared?
4x.
8.
4.
No, 8.
Where you get 4 from?
I'm stupid.
8 times x squared is 8x squared. 8 times 2x is 16x. And 8 times negative 1,
Negative 8.
and subtract. You get 0. Negative 2x minus 16x.
18x.
Negative 18x. Negative 1 minus negative 8. 7. So your remainder is plus negative 18x plus 7 over.
Plus 2
Wouldn't it be,
minus 1.
wait, wouldn't it be negative 7?
I'm sorry.
No, because it's a double negative. Makes it a positive. Okay, that is polynomial long division. Is it hard? Not really. Does it take time? Yes. It's really not hard if you just ask yourselves the questions you're supposed to think of.
It's just a lot of work.
It is a lot of work.
I'm tired already.
Okay, now, that's polynomial long division, and you have to stop. This is much easier. Don't complain before you don't even know. Okay, polynomial long division, when they ask you, use polynomial long division, that's when you have to use it. When they say solve this, this is a divisor, okay? I would personally use synthetic division. Do you remember synthetic substitution?
Yeah.
It's the same concept.
Whoa.
So I'm going to set up things. Here's the deal though. If you are using synthetic division, okay, you can only divide something by a term like x plus 4 or x minus 4. Like it can only be in that. It can't have a squared in it that you're dividing by or a cubed in it that you're dividing by. What that means is this. If I have 2x cubed plus x squared minus 8x plus 5 and I'm dividing by x plus 3 using synthetic division, I'm going to set up my chart. 2, 1, negative 8, 5. Just like you do with other synthetic stuff. 2, 1, negative 8, 5. Now, when you go to divide, you are not dividing by positive 3. You're dividing by what x would equal. What would x equal if I said x plus 3 equal to 0? Negative 3. So if it says x equals negative 3, I automatically put negative 3 in. If it says x plus this, I have to do the opposite of what it's saying. Okay? So what it is saying is, this, we want to divide by this term right here. How do I do synthetic? I bring this down, and I say 2 times negative 3 is?
Negative 6.
Plus 1 is?
Negative 5.
Negative 5 times negative 3 is?
15.
15 minus 8 is?
7.
Positive 7. And then 7 times negative 3 is?
Negative 21.
And negative 21 and 5 is?
Negative 13.
Negative 30.
18. 7.
What?
6. 6.
Five.
It's a 6. That for sure is a 6.
It's not.
It's a 16.
Yes, it's 16.
Okay. Negative 16. Now,
First try. Let's go.
here's the deal. This is my remainder. This is not your final answer. Here's your final answer. It should be in polynomial form. These represent things. What did I start with, power-wise?
Negative
And how many x's did I divide by?
3. 1.
1. So what do you think this is going to change to?
2.
2x squared. So I have my answer as 2x squared minus 5x plus 7 plus negative 16 over x plus 3, because that's what I
Wait,
said.
so you can't,
You can't do that every time though because they're not all like x plus 3.
Right, you can only do it if it's just an individual x plus 3, x plus a half, things like that. If it says x squared, I can't do that. Okay, so synthetic I can use when it has the like simplest form.
And I have a question for the long division.
Okay, what?
How did on the last one at the very top, like the very beginning, you put like 2x squared? How did you get that original number, like to start off with? Before you started the like subtraction process, all that.
This part right here. Because I asked myself, how do I get x squared to 2x to the fourth?
Okay.
That's what you always want to ask yourself. How do you get this leading one to whatever your new leading one is? Because you want it to cancel. What part?
How do you decide it was 3 weeks? How do you decide that?
How did I decide it's what?
It's like on the third number.
Because this has 3 terms, so you have to go 3 deep. Okay. Okay, so let's look at another example. Okay, this is just the factor theorem. So here's the deal. When I use synthetic division, okay, when I use synthetic division or polynomial long division, sometimes I'm not going to get a remainder. I'm going to get a 0. That means that was a solution of that equation. Okay, it came out evenly. So if it starts off as x cubed or x to the 5th and I get a 0, I'm going to keep going until I get down to x squared where I can factor and find all of my zeros. So you know how last night, if you had x to the 5th, you had to group or you had to factor. This, you can use synthetic division and break it down step by step to find all your factors so that you don't have to think in your head. Okay? So, with that being said, let's say it says 3x cubed minus 4x squared minus 28x minus 16. Completely given, it says factor this completely, given that x plus 2 is a factor. So I'm going to set up synthetic division. 3, negative 4, negative 28, and negative 16. And I'm dividing by what? Negative 2. So I bring this down, I get a 3. 3 times negative 2 is?
How do you get negative 2?
Because you have to take the opposite of what that is. Okay, so negative 6 and negative 4 is negative 10. Negative 10 and negative 2 is 20. So I get negative 8, and negative 8 and negative 2 is
16.
Do you see how you get a 0?
Yes.
Okay, so right now, if I were to factor this, it would say x plus 2 in parentheses, and then this changes to what? 3x squared minus 10x minus 8. Now, I have gotten this down into squared so I can factor it. So I have x plus 2 as a factor, and then I'm going to have 3x, right? And I'm going to have x, because that's the only way to break 3 and x up, is 3 and 1. And I need something that multiplies to give me negative 8, but will add to give me negative 10.
3.
2 and 4? Yeah. Because 4 times 3 is what? 12 and 2. So if I make this negative and make this positive, now I've factored it completely using synthetic division. And it makes it much simpler than you trying to group this and factor it. Okay?
So how do you get the middle?
Yeah. Okay? Let's look at 2 more. Divide using synthetic division. How do I set this up? 1, 4, 4.
Negative 1. With negative 1. And then you do the little half box thingy, and you put
Negative 3.
drop the 1.
Negative 3. 1. Negative 3. Not 1. 12.
You get 12.
11. You get 11.
And I have a remainder of 11. Now transfer that to me.
Okay, so now the rest of the
Okay, x squared
Plus 1
plus x
minus 4 plus 11 over
x plus 3. Wow, good job. Is that it?
That's it.
Squared. Oh.
Yep.
because you do.
Okay, there's 2 more slides. Last few things. Okay, it says 1 0 of x cubed minus 2x squared minus 23x plus 60 is x equals 3. What is another 0? So how would I set this up?
Plug in.
Okay, so you take
Plug in
1
0.
minus
Plug in
negative 2, negative 23, 60.
Okay.
Do your little half box thingy. Okay.
Sorry.
Now you're done.
My fault. 60, do my little half box thingy.
3.
Put 3, because this time x is set equal to it, so I don't have to do anything. Drop the 1.
3.
1.
60.
Okay, so then what does this turn into?
X.
Yeah, x squared
Plus x.
plus x.
Minus 20.
Okay, now now tell me, how do I factor this?
So you put X, and then, hold on.
What multiplies to give me negative 20 adds to give me 1?
4 to 5.
4 and 5. Which one's positive, which one's negative?
Negative 4.
That is positive 4.
Okay, so then my x's would equal what? X would equal what here?
3.
Because you're trying to find the zero, so remember you have to do x plus 5 equals 0, x minus 4 equals
Oh,
0.
Negative 5.
Negative 5, and then 4.
And then x plus 4, or negative 4. Ow. So x minus 4 equals 0, so x equals 4. So which option did they give us? A.
Why do all that work just for that?
What core?
Could have just guessed.
No. I want, if you just guess, I'm not going to give you credit on your homework or test.
Oh, that's tough.
You gotta show me work.
Okay.
Okay. Last thing, it's word problems.
Ew.
Oh my God, you grandpa.
Okay, it says businesses. The profit P in millions of dollars for a shoe manufacturer can be modeled by P equals negative 21x cubed plus 46x, where x is the number of shoes produced in millions. The company now produces 1 million shoes and makes a profit of $25 million, right?
That's pocket change.
But would like to cut back production. What lesser number of shoes could the company produce and still make the same profit?
Is that grammatically right? What lesser number of shoes?
Well, I'm a little stupid. I can't comprehend that well, so you don't need to explain.
Well, what do you think? We want to know what's another solution to this problem. Okay?
So
What would
you
be
do
another zero where it still
negative-
comes out at $25 million?
Okay,
So you
now
do
we have to
negative
take
21.
negative 21x.
Then you do
then
plus
0,
0, and then
0.
you do 46, and then you do 0.
Yeah.
Yes, yes. So you're going to do negative 21. You're going to do 0 for the squared. You have 46 for the x, and then you do 0 for your constant. Okay? Now, what are you dividing by though?
1 million.
Oh.
By 1. Yes, by 1 million. By 1. So if I divide by 1, I get
21.
There's nothing to run, but okay.
Oh, 25.
25.
The answer is 25.
okay, so I get that. Right?
Yeah.
Negative 21x squared minus 21x. That doesn't make, oh, this should say, wait a second.
Why would it be negative 25? You're not gonna find my house. 0 minus 25?
It would be,
Wait, what?
but that's not right. Give me a second. We put in negative 21, we put in 0, we put in 46, right? Aha, I know what we did wrong. Okay, so you're on to the right track. However,
Oh, nards.
that's not exactly what it was asking. And that makes sense because we didn't come out with a remainder of 0, okay? So this is our original equation. But now we want to make, what is the profit that we still want to make? 25 million. So we should set up an original equation that says 25 million equals negative 21x cubed plus 46x.
So we have to move the 25.
So that you have to move the 25,
Yes, I remember.
yeah. So what they did, okay, because we don't like, the book doesn't like, and you probably don't like leading coefficients that are negative,
I do.
okay? So what they did is they moved both of these over so that you can get 21x cubed. But if you move this over, you'd still get the same answer. Minus 46x plus 25 equals 0.
Okay. So
Now I can do synthetic division because I still want to know the profit to come out to 25. Okay?
21.
So I can do 21, 0, negative 46, 25. And I'm still dividing by 1. Okay? So I get 21, 21, negative 21, negative 21, right? Which gives you negative.
No.
Wait, no. We're not. This isn't negative. This is positive. Because remember, you add that section.
Yeah, I was gonna look at this.
So 21, what is negative 46 plus 21? Negative 25. Negative 25, and this gives you.
Oh my gosh.
So
you
then,
can always
I
come
get a
out
factor of 21x squared plus 21x minus 25, yes?
Yes.
Okay. Now we have to work with those numbers to figure out what my profit would be, okay?
You're not lying.
Is that anything that we can factor easily? No. So what formula can we use to figure out the answer? Go back to last chapter. What was last chapter all about graphing? Yeah, what? Quadratic. So what formula can we use? The quadratic formula. Opposite of b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. Because anytime something's not factorable, I can go to that and get an answer. So when you do that, your answer is going to come out to be that x is approximately 0.7. Okay? And that's what they're looking for. So don't be afraid that if it's not factorable, what?
Is that the sign for approximate?
Looks like an X.
Yeah, so X.
Oh, did I? Oh, sorry. It should look like,
She just made it too squiggly.
it should be like this. Yeah.
I.
Like, I'm saying it's like similar to that or congruent to that. Yeah. Okay. So that's what you are working on.